Spring is finally here. My plants are waking up, the days are unusually warm, and I'm outside getting a lot done. Join me today as I show you my garden and show you some of the garden prep that I'm doing in March. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and this is the third video in a series that shows just exactly what's happening in my garden every month, and some of the activities that I'm doing as my garden changes every month. And this year, as I talked about in the last video, things are a little bit different. A lot of the activities I'm doing now at the end of March, I normally wouldn't be doing for another 2 or 3 weeks, but the weather is just so nice, I have to get out and start doing them. An important activity in early spring is to go throughout your garden and look to see which plants are coming back. Hopefully, everything is coming back that you wanted. My bushes, my trees, everything is starting to bud and grow. In this area, at the end of last year, I planted some bare root peonies. Whenever you put new plants in the ground, if you're like me, you always wonder if they're going to make it through the winter. And I'm very glad to say that yes, my peonies made it through the winter. They're starting to grow. I had marked all of their locations with these flags so that I knew where to look when springtime came. And now that I've got these little plants that are starting to grow, it's time to think about protecting them. The dogs like to come through this area, so I need to have something to keep the dogs away from these young plants. But also, as they grow, they're going to need support. So I'll just put these peony cages over these young plants. They'll protect them, and then of course, as they grow, this is exactly what they need. Doing it in early spring is one of those things that you just do once and forget, and the plants will take care of the rest. I'm doing something similar here. In this spot last year, I transplanted some lilies for the first time. And sure enough, they made it through the winter. They're just beginning to pop up. I'm concerned about the dogs, so I'm putting a temporary barrier of some logs in this area to try to redirect them so that they won't crush these young plants. I'm really enjoying walking through my garden and following this process of observing the new plants and then deciding if there's anything else I need to do to them. I put some daylilies right here last year. They're coming up much better than I expected, but I don't need to protect them because I already have them in a relatively protected area. Right here, more daylilies. Again, they're looking so good, and daylilies over there as well. Generally, my dogs are not coming through this area, but now that I know all these plants are up, I'll keep an eye on Mala and Lika just to be sure. For now, I'm just enjoying this great new growth because my plants survived the winter. Another plant that has emerged into spring looking fantastic is my garlic. I'm pretty sure all of the cloves that I planted have sprouted. I wasn't so lucky last year. Winter was much different last year and I didn't have a very good garlic crop, but this year looks amazing. I didn't plant the whole bed with garlic. I left that end open. And so this week, with this great weather and with our nights being so warm, I went ahead and sowed some beet seeds. Another activity I like to do in early spring is to top off my beds with organic matter. This year, I added about 1 inch of compost to these beds to prepare them for the upcoming growing season. If you're going to add compost or any organic matter to your soil in spring, I suggest you do it as early as you can, as soon as the soil can be worked. It's going to take a little bit of time for the soil microbes to start incorporating the nutrients from that organic matter into the soil so that they're available to the plants. So it's going to be a few weeks before I actually put anything in these beds, starting with the cool season plants like spinach and lettuce and radish and brassicas. But in the meantime, the organic matter is here, and I'm watering these beds to keep the soil moist. That will really encourage the population of the soil life to begin waking up and to begin doubling and quadrupling and filling this bed with all those little microbes that are going to be doing such wonderful jobs. So adding the compost is only one piece of it. Watering the beds, even when there are no plants here, is another important step. I still need to do some garden cleanup, removing some of the weeds that have popped up, particularly these grassy weeds in this bed. I've already done that cleanup before putting the compost in these other beds. I noticed this morning, after watering yesterday, that I've got little doggy paw prints in the middle of that bed. Again, to discourage particularly Lika from walking in the beds, I need to make sure that I keep these beds covered with my hoops. So I've got more hoops. I'll be putting them in place. For now, I'm just rearranging the hoops I already have to make sure that the beds that I've already amended and watered stay protected from pests. And those pests include dogs. This is the area of my garden where I grow primarily my peppers and my tomatoes. And I've already completed the cleanup, pulling out all the weeds in all of these beds. As I was pulling the weeds, particularly from this one, I was checking the condition of the soil, trying to determine if I needed more compost. And this may be the best soil I have in my entire garden. So I did not add any organic matter this year because it doesn't need it. This other bed, last year I did not add organic matter. So this year, because I tend to do a 2 to 3 year cycle, this year it does. So that's on my list of activities to do this weekend, is amend this bed and then apply more mulch and then start watering the beds. It's going to be another 2.5 months before I actually start putting peppers and tomatoes into these beds. I've lived in Colorado long enough to know that even with these hot temperatures, and yesterday was 80 degrees Fahrenheit, there's cold still coming. My last frost date isn't until May. So the prep for these beds is important at this time of year so that by the time the soil warms up, by the time there's no more danger of frost, the beds have all of the nutrients, all of that wonderful organic matter and mulch in place so that I can just transplant and be ready to go. A big reason why I'm putting so much attention and so much effort in prep for all of the rest of the garden is because I want to be focused on this new walled garden as soon as I can. Because the soil will be ready in my vegetable garden, because everything is cleaned up and protected in my pollinator garden, I really don't need to worry about those areas for quite a while, weeks. Those weeks can be spent developing the soil and some of the initial structures in this new garden area. So it's about priority, it's about scheduling, it's about timing. The timing is right for the rest of the garden, and it's almost complete with all of the prep. Then the priority becomes this area. You do one task so that you can do another. I'm really enjoying my mini orchard. My Toka plum tree is covered with blossoms, and my peach tree is just beginning. This is incredible. The nighttime temperatures look great for the next week and a half. It's supposed to stay above freezing. Last year, I had an early bloom like this, and then we were hit with a hard freeze, and I lost everything. I was only able to harvest 3 plums on this whole tree last year. This year, I'm anticipating dozens and dozens of plums on this tree, and on that peach tree, and on some of the apple trees behind me. I'm thinking about protection for these plants from cold. If we do have a cold snap that's going to pop up in the next couple of weeks, I have my plastic and my tarps all ready to go, to throw over these trees. And hopefully, even though I might lose some of the blossoms, I'll be able to save most of the potential fruit. I take advantage of the bed cleanup whenever I can. So here in my asparagus bed, I have a couple salvia plants that are starting to pop up. I have salvias that grow here just outside the bed. They'll drop their seeds. Some of those seeds will land in the asparagus bed. So I can go ahead and dig them up, put them into a little pot that I already have prepared, and I'll be able to transplant salvia to other areas of the garden. And in case you were wondering, yes, my asparagus has just popped up this week. I'll be doing my first harvest today. Some of that salvia from last year found its way to this area of my garden, right here and over there by these new beds. But most of the plants that I'm putting in the next month or two, I've already started downstairs. And I'll be starting more plants that I am planning to put into my walled garden. There's still some prep to be done on these beds, so again, that's a priority because there are plants going in here relatively soon. But on days like today, it's easy to get the job done. It's a good idea at this time of year to survey your garden and look for those free plants that you can put in your garden or give away. And this area is loaded with free plants because the raspberry bed is over there. And there's a whole bunch of raspberries throughout this area. These raspberries are beginning to encroach on the pollinator garden. I have other flowers that are normally growing here. So these have to go. I have to stop the raspberries from taking over the rest of the garden. No problem. I just dig them up and I move them to someplace else. My stinging nettle is trying to escape the bed I have it planted in. No problem. Dig these out, pot them up, free plants. This strawberry bed is also coming back great. I need to clean up some of the dried leaves now. I don't need that extra insulation from the severe cold. And to give some of these young plants room to grow, I have my little yogurt cups all ready to go to dig up others and then give all of these away. In my greenhouse, my Chicago fig trees are looking great and they've started to sprout. Now, because it was a warmer winter, I was kind of hoping that I might get some new buds or leaves on some of last year's growth, but that didn't happen. It's typical in a region like mine here in Colorado, even in a greenhouse, for it to die back to the ground and then send up new growth every year. And this year looks to follow that trend. So I'm going to have to go ahead and prune all of this previous growth down to the ground so that the new has room to grow. You never know what surprises you're going to find when you survey your entire landscape. Like this prickly pear cactus. It's been a little plant for a few years and I haven't thought much about it. In this rocky area where I don't normally grow anything because it's just separation between my house and my neighbor's house, this cactus has found a nice little home. To avoid it being stepped on or driven on, because I do drive through this gated area, I'm going to dig it up and move it to my other section, the long row of prickly pear cactus, so I can make more jelly later this year. Because so much of my focus at this time of year is on my vegetable garden prep and my pollinator garden prep, I often forget or overlook a lot of what's happening in my front landscape. And so seeing the new growth on the peonies in my backyard reminded me that I've got peonies in my front yard. And sure enough, they're starting to come up. I have the cages already in place from last year, but now I need to get in and I need to do some pruning so that the new growth has room to grow. I want to be sure and point out that when I clean up my beds, I'm not cleaning up everything. Most of our typical weeds aren't always a weed. One of those plants for me are dandelions. Dandelions are among the first flowers of spring. They're among the first food for the bees that are waking up. So I'm okay that I've got some dandelions growing throughout my garden because it's beneficial for a lot of those beneficial insects. So what do you think? I think my garden is looking great. Better at this time of year than it probably has in many years. It makes me very happy. I like coming out here, and I like getting everything ready to go, doing all of the prep as early as possible, so that before I know it, all of this is going to be filled with flowers and fruit and vegetables, and it's going to be even a better place to visit. If you want to see some of the other videos in this series, watch one of these next. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.